Good morning, everybody. This is Lorraine.
And Jennifer Denny.
And this morning, we're going to talk about a conspiracy.
Everybody likes a good conspiracy theory.
Absolutely. The internet is filled with conspiracy theories. And so, of course, there are conspiracy theories on the platform that gave birth to the conspiracy theory.
Google.
And so, what we're going to talk about, Janet, and I really want you to kind of kick the tires on this, is people are starting to say, well, Google and Apple are in cahoots and they're trying to gang up on Facebook. What's that all about?
Well, there's nothing that can completely, say that that's true or false, but let me give you the situation.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm sure you've heard, if you're in marketing or in business, this whole thing happened where Facebook got blocked on kind of being able to target the user based on their search behavior or things that they were doing off the app by Apple.
Mm-hmm.
And so Apple said, no more, you have to opt in, you have to, say yes to getting this targeting. Well, at the same exact time, all of a sudden, Google came out with these new audience only targeting. And all of a sudden, Google got really good at audience targeting while Facebook started to all of a sudden lose their bread and butter from Apple.
Because Apple was saying they're not going to share that privacy data. And so it really hurt Facebook. It really diminished the effectiveness of Facebook ads. People who were longtime advertisers were finding that criteria that they were targeting on, they couldn't target on anymore.
And Facebook had to start dropping all kinds of audience targeting. And I think the other thing that lends to this conspiracy theory is that Google pays Apple billions of dollars a year to ensure that Google is the default search engine on their phones. Mm-hmm. So they're already in cahoots, whether or not you think it is or not. That's a fact.
So I will use the word they're in business, because it's common knowledge. So it's not like it's shady and behind the scenes. Now the question is there something else shady going on? Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. We could argue about that for way longer than our 10 minutes. But what I'm really interested in is if this is true or if it isn't. I'm a little business. I want to do some advertising. Where does all of this leave me?
So where that leaves you is if you are not currently running the new type of campaign from Google called Google Performance Max, then you are missing out.
Okay.
Yes. So Google Performance Max changes the entire landscape that we have always known for Google. They've always been known for keywords, and I want my ad to show up when someone types in a certain keyword, and that's no longer true with Google Performance Max.
Now I can still do traditional ads if I want, but with Google Performance Max, now I'm not worrying about keywords. So how do I decide who's going to see my ad?
In fact, you should not get rid of your regular search campaigns. Google recommends that you run these side by side.
Well, of course, because then you spend more money.
But Google Performance Max, actually you choose audiences to target. And by audiences, there's several different types of audiences that you can target. So it's very sophisticated. I can target if somebody has been to one of your competitor websites. So they're already in the market. I know that they want something. I can make sure that they also see your ads. I can target by people based on their search behavior that they are already searching for what you have to offer. I can target by what their affinity audience are. So what is their search behavior over the last, do they often search for shoes? Then there's somebody you want to, if you're a retail. Mm-hmm. I can target by remarketing. So Google was not affected by, this cutoff of being able to target people because they own Google Chrome. Remarketing is much better. I can do similar audiences. So a lot of the stuff that Facebook was able to do, Google can now do with Google Performance Max.
So as a business owner, it really is about the audience now. It's really about not did they type in dog or dog food or dog trainer. It's
Yeah,
are they searching? Do they search for dogs and dog pictures and things like that?
it's about finding Sarah. Sarah is your target audience that you're trying to get after. If you didn't know, I mean, Google owns the search engine, so your ads are going to show in the search engines for this. Google owns YouTube. It's going to show on Gmail, and then Google has the display network, which is all the websites on the internet and the ads that get placed on them. So with Google Performance Max, you're targeting by that audience in a myriad of places and not just on Facebook.
So especially these days, as I mean, yes, there are still a billion people on Facebook, but the truth is that a lot of people are switching their active time to other
Mhm.
platforms. They check in Facebook, but younger audiences are going to TikTok. I don't want to call them middle aged audiences, but slightly older are definitely more active on Instagram, or they're just on doing searches and they're not on social media and they're just looking at websites, and so Google can be where they are.
Right. So even if you're on Facebook, let's say, and you click through because you want to read an interesting article or you want to watch the daily news, more than likely there's a Google ad that's on that page. And you can
Mhm.
make sure that you are there and you're targeting by audience. And then another item, machine learning, they're only going after conversion. So they're going after people more likely to buy.
And that's really, I think, the key with a lot of new advertising, which makes it very effective but also very challenging in that you can't outguess the machine. I mean, the average business owner is, no matter how well you know your business, you
Yes.
don't really know as much about the search behavior of your customers as the AI that runs Google.
Well, you have to consider that 15 to 20% of searches that are done on any daily basis are brand new and have never been done before.
Mhm.
So when you're trying to do this, like guess every single way that somebody's searching in a search campaign, you're doing yourself a disjustice. These performance max campaigns are going to fill those gaps for those keywords that you haven't already found, and they're going to show your ad there as well. Now, they'll show the regular campaign first. They have said that before the Performance Max, but I think you should have a 75-25 split on your Google budget with these two different types of ads.
Wow. Okay, so as we're going, because there's some folks I can see that have hopped on or joining us. If you guys have got questions about Google Performance Max campaigns, go ahead and pop them in the chat in the time we've got left. While we're waiting for that, Jen, are there questions that people have routinely about these that maybe I haven't asked?
Well, I don't know if it's questions as hesitation. I think people are hesitating because they've always known Google as keyword based. And so, guys, things are moving very quickly. And, going back to the conspiracy, all of a sudden Google got really good at audience targeting. And I was scared too. I didn't want to try it, but I tried it. And the cost per acquisition and the leads that we're getting, you can't beat it. Like, you've got to try it. You got to always have that test budget. So, Google Performance Max campaigns are going to change the landscape of ads. I'll say it.
Awesome. All right. So if you have questions about Google Performance Max campaigns after today's conversation, definitely reach out to Jen. This is her area of expertise at elevatedmarketing.solutions.
Yes. And of course, if you've got lots of other questions, digitaltoolbox.club. I'm sure I'll have an ads class coming up here soon, coming up on the digitaltoolbox.club.
We absolutely are going to look forward to that. Until then, you guys have a great week. We'll see you next Friday.
Bye.